Ah, for fuck's sakes, I fucked this up already. Here we go. Here we go. See, we got a chat thing going on. Do we have any listeners? No. Thank fuck. It's just us right now. People will jump in, I'm sure. Let me fuck with this thing to see if we get the right view. All right, that looks better, doesn't it? Chat overlay. Bonzi, you're better at this shit than I am, bro.
Yeah, I like that you're set up better now. That looks way better.
Okay.
Yeah, once you go live on the network, it'll click in and you'll see people join in shortly.
Morgan's still fucking with his kid. People will jump in. It's all good. We'll just take a couple minutes.
Can you see me? Can you hear
me? Yeah, we can see you and hear you. You might want to consider moving your fucking Wi-Fi extender down to your shitter.
Just a low-speed guy in a high-speed world, eh?
I actually moved my my Wi-Fi extender upstairs because I had such fucking shitty lag last time. Wade is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Wade Paulo is viewing.
There he is.
Hey Wade, I need you as my next Civvy guest. Like I'd like to go next week if you two fuckers are available. I want to do this weekly, Thursdays, not Fridays. Typically, we're gonna do this shit Thursdays.
Thursdays, you'd lose me, homie. I do my homeless walk every Thursday evening.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm committed. That one, they changed it from a Tuesday to a Thursday.
No, Wednesdays are good too. Morgan, is Wednesday good for you? You're just a frozen image right now.
My guy there in the green, you've got some fucking voice on you. Do you do all those Hollywood trailers?
Listen, he wants to talk to you. Listen,
bro,
he wants to talk to you about fucking voiceover shit.
That's been my lifelong dream. Like even before I wanted to be a soldier, dude, was to be in a cartoon kind of thing, man. It's good to meet you, by the way. I watched you guys.
Can you do next Wednesday
podcast as well, dude? I'd love to talk.
Thank you. A pleasure to meet you guys as well. You definitely got the voice for it. I'd love to help you out if you want it. So
appreciate that.
That'd be cool.
Well, Morgan's fucking with this shit. I'll take this opportunity to plug our my sponsors. So just give me a second here. I'm still fucking getting used to this shit.
There you go. You're unfrozen now, Wade.
For all two people that are watching this, more to follow. Welcome to Fire for Effect Live. My name is Chris, often referred to as Army Chris by my friends in the media. Fire for Effect Live and Fire for Effect, the recorded version thereof, is brought to you by Dean Blundell Network of podcasts. Go to deanblundell.com, Canada's largest digital source for sports, news, and podcasts, and all kinds of fucking shit that you may find offensive. If you're thin-skinned, don't go there. deanblundell.com, check it out. I am also brought to you by... unofficially, and I wish that fucker was on here because I got some words to say to him. Where is he? It's not on yet. Big shout out, Positive Mike's Brewing Company. Positive Mike's Brewing.
There you
can
go.
Get the gear, but you can't get the beer. I can get the beer, but you can't get the beer yet. Eventually, you'll be able to get the beer, but right now you can't. But go to find Positive Mike on all of your social media platforms. Just type in Positive Mike or go to @PositiveMikes, and you'll find his page. He did a lot of cool shit in November to support Movember in support of men's health. I think it started with prostate cancer, but it's evolved to men's mental health, just men's health in general. Mike had some Movember specific shirts made up. He's got cool shit. I'm wearing his sweater right now. But I'm still waiting for some more fucking beer, Mike. So if you're watching this later, please hook a brother up, because I got like one bottle left and I'm saving it for cooking. And lastly, but not least, I'm brought to you by JT's Bar and Grill. JT's Bar and Grill is a neighborhood pub down in the south end of Edmonton, the opposite end of the city to me, which is really good, because if I live near there, I'd fucking be there every day. So it's probably better that it takes me 40 minutes to drive there. It's one of those pubs where you know the owners, you know the patrons that go there. The beer is always cold and the food is exceptionally good. And I'm actually going to be cooking there tomorrow for American Thanksgiving. I got to cook 4 fucking turkeys. I got to be there at 8 a.m. So I got to be on my A game. So there we go, JT's Bar and Grill.
Wow.
It's going to be a lot of fucking fun. Also, JT's Bar and Grill is on the Locker Room daily. So my good buddies from 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, the Locker Room will be there tomorrow morning as well.
Lachlan Cross.
There you go. So I want to talk to you guys about my guests really quickly. Who else do we got here? Oh, there she is. Tell hubby I need more beer.
That's what she was saying, man. She's making it, and it'll be coming in a few weeks.
Fucking, there's always the one guy with tech problems. Always the one guy. Oh, I fucked this up. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Okay, around the horn, a quick introduction to my friends. For the first 2 guys, my main panel, Mr. Bryce Hooper. Both of these guys and Mr. Morgan Warren are problem solvers. Bryce solves his problem medicinally through the use of marijuana, psychedelics and other things. Yeah. He's going to sit down with me on Friday. We're going to talk more about that and record a normal full-on episode. Absolutely. Morgan is a problem solver, and he does that from long ranges in a kinetic method.
Yeah, he's a legend.
So please welcome my two regulars to the show. And we have a special guest tonight, my man Bonzi. I'm not going to give you Bonzi's full real name, Greg, because he's going through a lot of fucking transitions in his life right now. As I understand it, consider me a media source for a second and how accurate they are. As I understand it, Bonzi was living in a trailer park in East LA and was involved
just outside of LA
and was involved in a conflict and a gang war and had to leave really quickly. Something like that.
It's not quite how it went down, but close.
Living in a van by a river now. It's perfect.
Now, as an icebreaker, before we dive into the content, I have a hypothetical question, purely hypothetical, has nothing to do with maybe one guy in the bottom left of the screen. I need your guys' opinion on this. Now, for those of you watching, and if I look in from time to time, it's because I'm fucking blind and I need glasses, but I'm too vain to actually look in. I'm gonna drop a C-bomb. If you don't like the word cunt, you shouldn't watch the show. I was using it long before fucking Jim Jeffries could spell it. The Canadian soldier. It's how we roll. There's 2 ways you can approach something. Let's assume you have a friend whose wife is a cunt.
Is a bitch.
Bitch. Now, you can either A, say, you're a fucking cunt. My guess is the reaction you're going to get is going to be negative from both her and the hubby. Or you can say, bro, your wife's being a bit cunty. He may be a little more empathetic. What do you feel? What do you think?
My dad likes to call the one that's involved in my life a ciuente, because then it just sounds poetic.
That is quite poetic. You're not wrong. Morgan, you're a husband and a father and shit. What would you do if somebody called? I'm not saying anybody said anybody's wife was a cunt.
Yeah, exactly.
no, I agree with you. Yeah, if you call somebody a cunt, like you're if you're gonna call somebody and now you're all in, and there's no way back. But if you say you're not a cunt, but you're on the road being a cunt, you know, so you can backpedal out of that one, but you can't backpedal from cunt. It's just not.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So if everybody's wondering why Morgan's audio and video is so shitty, so last time he was on the show, he had this blue background. It looks like he was in a fucking police cell being interrogated. So he loaded some shit up on the wall. He's got some fucking sniper paraphernalia on the wall. Looks a little better background. But I want you to know where he's broadcasting from.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. That's his fucking, he's in his shitter, literally. Okay. That's his underdevelopment, his basement fucking roughed in toilet. So he's literally sitting on his shitter right now, probably with a hemorrhoid donut. Fucking, this is piece of shit 1981 MacBook that he bought at the Canex on the Canex plan when he joined the fucking army. And that's where he is right now. I'm not fucking making this shit up. Maybe consider a fucking Wi-Fi extender in your toilet, bro. There you go. So again, I want to thank everybody for jumping in. That is fucking too funny. You're getting a Wi-Fi extender for your fucking birthday, man, or Christmas.
Yeah. All right, Chris, you got to get yourself.
It's the most infantry thing to do.
It is.
Yeah, it sure is.
He's in a fucking hull down position, hoping it'll all work out. So Bonzi's got a limited amount of time. I got this new bit before we dive into the content. For those of you that saw everything going on today, who else is on this thing? Doug Curry. Oh, for fuck's sakes. That guy fucking brought me to the army. Doug Curry is the guy that introduced me to the fucking knife hand, man. And the first time Doug knife handed me, I was on basic training. He was fucking laying into me, and I grabbed his hand and I shook it. And he did not know what the fuck to do when I did it. That's a true fucking story.
Oh, snap.
Oh, man, I'll save that shit for another day.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to do something called a bit called Ask an Army Guy. It's a new bit. So I'm trying to have a civilian type person on the show every week or every 2 weeks, whenever we can fucking do this. And before we get into the content, we're gonna go through that Q&A, Ask an Army Guy with Bonzi, and then I'm gonna dive into the content that I had mentioned earlier. So Bonzi, I'm gonna give you up to 3 questions. You can ask one or all of us. So Morgan, bottom right, he was an infantryman, or he is still an infantryman. He's a warrant officer and 1 VP. Sniper.
Wow.
Bryce was a trucker, right, Bryce? Okay. Multiple tour guys. I was an artilleryman by trade and ended up working with engineers somehow. So any fucking question, up to 3 for all 3 or 1 you want to answer, you want to ask, here's your chance. Go nuts.
All right, so I'll start with my guy in the bottom corner, and don't count this as a question. It's like I don't know. Don't they fucking pay you in the army, bro? You got no Wi-Fi or like it looks horrendous. It sounds horrendous where you are.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm retired. So yeah.
All right. So, all jokes aside, I will start with you. Does it break your heart like it breaks mine as a civilian? Never been in the Navy. I had grandparents there and stuff that served, but man, I see so many homeless veterans, and it fucking crushes me. Does it bother you as well? And does it scare you for the future? Say when you get old and stuff, is like, does it affect you in any way?
I mean. It does and it doesn't. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, absolutely disgusting. And but unfortunately, nothing new. I'm not too worried about it myself personally. I mean, could it happen to me? But I doubt it. I see a lot of join the army, and then they kind of commit to the army, leave their family behind because they think, like, listen, all of my medals, all of my commendations, all of my tours, all of my badass. And they really focus on that, and they think that does matter. And then when they released from the army, they realized, wow, for myself, I didn't look after my family. So that's just my opinion. Like I said, there's examples of this throughout history. I think one of the things we're going to talk about on the roster is, Tommy Prince. He's a perfect example of that. And I mean, the Second World War and a Korea vet, and he's absolute war hero. And his story is absolutely tragic. I mean, this guy's one of the most decorated war heroes in Canadian history, and he died face down in the gutter, and he had to sell his medals. So there you go.
That's shit. So it leads me to my next question from my boy with the big chops up there, the voice. Are you pissed about how the government treats ex-soldiers and military people, or do you guys feel that you are properly taken care of once you are discharged from your service?
No, not at all, dude. I'm gonna have to sound off with Warren as well. The first thing they do when you have an injury or an illness with the Canadian military is they throw you a giant cash settlement, and if that doesn't promote mental health issues, you don't leave your house, or addiction problems, it should throw everybody. And then they offer you financial services after the fact, but now that you have that cash, it's your choice. And you're literally two mistakes away from homelessness, like what Warren was saying. I myself was that guy. I divorced right out of the military. I lost access to my kids and ended up homeless in the Edmonton, St. Albert area in Alberta. And I totally see it. It's you're literally two mistakes, one paycheck away from not being able to hit a bill, and then you're just one after another.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I can't believe it's gone on for this long. And how come something hasn't been done in the military or through the government about this shit? Chris, maybe you can answer that, and I'll get out of here.
Well, fuck that. That's a fucking complicated question.
Sorry.
I'll tell you what. When I was on your show, Bonzi,
easy
with myself and Pat, it's slowly. Fucking Mike. Game of inches is football. This is a game of millimeters. Getting better. However, it'll be a long fucking time. It's a long road, and again, I don't blame the people that work at VAC. They're government employees. They just follow a fucking checklist. They're doing what they do. It gets thrown into a fucking computer, as I said before, and it spits out a number. There's no personal touch to it. There's no, as Pat Molden alluded to, and Pat's going through a lot of shit, as you well know, that the problem is there's no personal piece to it. So you're going through a fucking sausage machine, trying to better your life, and as Bryce eloquently put, the first response is, well, throw a bunch of money at him and he'll go away. And 9 times out of 10, I'll bet that works, right? Because fuck, it solves all your immediate financial problems. Your bills are paid off. That stupid truck you shouldn't have bought's paid off. Your fucking visa that you racked up buying a bunch of shit on Amazon you didn't need is paid off. You feel good. The endorphins go up. You take the boys out. You have a few fucking beers. 90 days go by. You're right the fuck back where you started. You get the same mental problems or the same physical problems that were created for military service. And you're starting back at square one with Veterans Affairs. And then they got that fucking card. Oh, we threw money at you. Yeah, so you got it. So it's a cat and mouse fucking game you have to play. And every guy I know that's in the Veterans Affairs system, whether it's in the United States or in Canada, is going through the same fucking shit. You're fighting a government organization that runs like a fucking insurance company, despite ombudsman and government promises that we'll take better care of our people. No, you won't. No, eventually maybe you will, but that's a bunch of fucking bullshit. I'll park it right there, because far my experiences with VAC, my personal experiences with VAC have been pretty good. But I know the struggles I've had to deal with, you know, and I'm not a fucking shy guy. I will fucking tell you exactly what I think and light anybody up. So I feel bad for, I'm afraid for the younger guys that are a little shyer, a little newer, that you know, may got a leg blown off, like Brock Blaschuk or somebody like that, that are not as comfortable with dealing with that shit, right? So that, you know, I don't think everybody's getting a fair fucking shake. And then the last thing we see is a guy on the street, and we're going to touch on that later. I know you got to jump off soon, but I hope you rewatch the back end of this because it'll answer a lot of your questions.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I do got to get going. I can't think. I'll stick around here for a few minutes and I'll listen to the banter. But guys, all three of you, thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you've done. You guys are way better than me. And that's the truth. It was never in my, I guess I don't know how to say it. It was in my DNA, I guess. Both my grandfathers were in the war. One of them was a prisoner of war for 2 years. But fuck, it never dawned on me to get my ass down to the local Army recruit or Navy recruit like Pat did and stuff and go serve. So God bless you guys for stepping up and doing that and being a better man than I am and a lot of people out there. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you jumping on, bro. I know you're gonna have to jump off in a bit before we dive in. Big shout out to Bonzi. Check out his show. It's right after this. I'm gonna try to wrap it up early. So if you're a YouTube fucking nutcase and have no life, jump onto his shit later because he's
Tripping
got more
with Bonzi on YouTube and
Tripping with Bonzi. Yeah, plug your shit, bro.
Yeah, Tripping with Bonzi on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. A lot of great content. So I'm in Arizona right now. It's American Thanksgiving. Zona loves Trump. They don't like the vaccine mandates and stuff. And I went out and interviewed some pretty wild people today. So don't miss Bonzi Live on Tripping with Bonzi on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Thanks, brother. The fuck did Bryce
Thank you,
go?
boys.
Thank you. Bryce is ninja'd out. Okay, while he's defucking his technical problems, our first topic, I always want to start off. I'm trying to develop a format. This is only episode 2 of live, and let's see what we got here. Hang on, kids. And for everybody chatting, I'll try to read this shit when I put somebody else on the screen because I squint and stare at the monitor, and everybody makes fun of me. At least I'm not in a shitter in my basement. Here's the first thing I want to look at. Is it this one? Fucking which one is it? Oh my. The Canadian Forces is top heavy with generals as rank and file shrinks. All right. This has been a fucking thing since I want to say since I joined the Army. And I believe in a book called Tarnished Brass. I don't know if you read it. It was kind of came out after the Somalia fucking incident. It talked about how top heavy the Canadian military is. And if you served overseas, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And from the micro level in Afghanistan, we typically deployed about 3,500 guys per roto. Does that sound right, gents?
Give or take, probably.
Give or take 3,500 man battle group, all in. And I can promise you that 1/3 of that were actually guys that went outside the wire and did the business. The balance of the 2/3 were in support roles, which is fine. I understand you need support roles, but it felt like when I went back to CAF, I was tripping over fucking chief warrant officers and light colonels. You know, we're very good at having this fucking inverted triangle of top heavy versus fucking bayonets. And this just came out. David Pulgees, I don't know if I pronounced his name right. He works for the Ottawa Citizen. He's been a military, I guess what we want to call him, an analyst for fucking decades now. And when he says it, it's worth the read. That's the acting chief of defense staff, Wayne Eyre, because the other last 17 CDSs are all under sexual harassment complaint investigations. So, and I know that guy. I worked with him out here at area, and he's actually a fucking solid dude. So I sympathize with the plight that he's in. That being said, we have an insane amount of generals. If you read this headline, it tells you the strength of the U.S. Marine Corps and how many they have, Canada has currently just under 66,000 regular force soldiers, and I want to say 17,000 reserve soldiers, and like 140 fucking generals or something. Outside of that fucking news article in the Ottawa Citizen, Fort Bragg, which is the largest U.S. Army base in the United States, actually, I think it's the largest base, period, has 57,000 regular force or active duty soldiers on that base. Okay, it's a division, the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. I digress. There's actually way more fucking people on Fort Bragg proper. But the 82nd Airborne Division is made up of 57,000 active duty soldiers commanded by one major general. Okay, one. Now, obviously, he's got some brigadiers under him because he's got brigades. I think 5. I'm not sure. You can go Google all that shit. So that's almost, that's like 10,000 fucking light of the total size of our military commanded by one guy with other generals under him. So I just want to, I'm going to go fucking let you cats weigh in on how you feel right now. And I know, Morgan, I'm putting you in a weird spot because you're still wearing a uniform. So you can plead the fucking fifth here. But I can tell you right now, my experience working at what is now called a division headquarters, used to be an area headquarters, seeing the level, all the commands we have. I did my quick math, and it feels like we could get by with a third of the amount we've got. And then when you factor in all the fucking staff officers that they have with them, right? You've got every general's got to have a fucking colonel under him. He's going to have 3 light colonels, 8 majors, 30 captains. You know what I mean? These fucking staffs that get built out of this. I went to NDHQ a couple times in my career, and I remember walking to the cafeteria, which is in the sub basement, and there was a fucking lieutenant colonel selling raffle tickets as you walked into the cafeteria. I'm going, you got to be fucking kidding me. So thoughts, comments, gents, over to you.
Absolutely. I've had the privilege of serving both in Edmonton as well as Winnipeg. So Winnipeg, I got to see a lot more of the brass heavy side of things, where they have the Air Division headquarters as well as 17 wing there as well. So the working rank at the Air Division is captain or major chief warrant officer, and there's a fishbowl of them, where someone like myself, who was a transport rep, at a corporal, master corporal level, people were staring at you when you were at the same table as three generals, 2 chief warrant officers, and a couple of MWOs and a captain, kind of thing.
There you go. Morgan, what do you think? For as much as you want to say. You froze up.
Can you hear me? Unmuted?
You're good now.
Oh yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You're 5 by 5. Send, don't offer.
I think you have my muted.
Oh shit. No. You're not muted. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you, dude. Strategically, yes. Can you hear us? Or are you just frozen and moving your camera?
Oh shit. Maybe it's me.
My mic is muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Chris. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
We can hear you.
Go
Fine. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so just in perspective, just my point of view. So hear me? Mic muted. 100% manned. On our last, supposed to be, 10 guys. Even in you've got 3 crew and 7. At any given time, I mean, a good section was dismounting 4 private corporals, if they were lucky. sometimes. So if that's the case, like if we're at 105% manning, who's taking up all these positions? Because it's not privates and corporals and master corporals and sergeants and warrant officers. It's not the lower ranks. So we're like you said before, we should have like, you know, a half a dozen and 1 million private corporals, but it seems like we've got 1 million generals and like a half a dozen private corporals. So it's the classic, you know, many chiefs and not enough Indians. I mean, not to be racist. That's pretty much what we're looking at. So yeah.
No, and that's exactly it. We're very top heavy. I mean, I was very fortunate in my last deployment to run very lean. I had one OC who was in CAF, and I ran my own team out of Kandahar and reported it to no fucking senior officers or any officers for that matter. And I'm not ripping on the junior officers, the lieutenants and captains and majors that are out there grinding as OCs, company commanders, what have you. It just feels like when we say we have whatever 137 fucking generals, I'm going, you need to break that down for me, because for every fucking new neat organization they crank up, they put some fucking general in there, and that he or she has to have this exorbitant staff. And there's no military I've ever seen, and I've worked with a fucking lot of militaries in 4 deployments, that runs as top heavy as we are. So that's our hot fucking topic of the day. We're not going to beat that shit to death. We will move on. Fuck with that camera a bit. All right. I know we're a bit late on this, but I kind of want to talk post Remembrance Day just briefly, because it's water under the bridge. Not for us every day, but I'll kind of kick it off, and I just want to quickly know what you guys did and how you felt in a COVID fucking world. I was pissed off the Butterdome, and for those of you not from Edmonton watching this, the Butterdome is where we have our big Remembrance Day indoor ceremony. They canceled it this year because of COVID. I'm going, okay, well, that's great. So you canceled Remembrance Day ceremonies, but it's okay to have 50,000 fucking people at a fucking soccer game in Commonwealth. Okay. Anyways, I did something different this year. I went to this guy named Mike Downey. I believe he's a former MWO, retired in Edmonton, and he ended up has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. I hope I'm not fucking the stats up on this. And I was going to do my normal shit, go down to Patricia Park, do the Legion thing, hit a Legion, go home, like normal shit. And then my buddies on cruise said, hey, listen, we're promoting this fucking thing. And there was a big Facebook thing made up about it. And I'm not on Facebook. And they're like, well, would you come down to this thing with us? Like, okay, I'll check it out. And I dug into it. So Mike's daughter, Jessica, put a ceremony together at their house because he's not able to go out. This guy has never missed a fucking Remembrance Day in his life. And he's so fucking in the shit right now, he couldn't go anywhere. So what started as a small thing ended up with 300 fucking people outside of his house. And it was very, very well done. And John Kennedy was there, Bryce. He kind of helped ramrod the whole fucking thing. And it was really impressive, man. It was probably one of the best different, you know what I mean? Yeah. Ceremonies ever been to. So that's what I did. Then I went to the St. Albert Legion, and, it was kind of normal Legion shit. So that was me. So what the fuck did you guys do? Bryce, what'd you do?
I made my way out to the Morinville Legion and watched most of the shit show of a presentation that happened there. I normally make my way out there, and no disrespect to any of the senior veterans that came out there. I hope this does make its way back to the serving sergeant who was the master of ceremony, who referred to himself as almost ex-sergeant so-and-so. and then just went ahead and
Wow.
read the paper like this. And he's holding a mic in front of one service battalion that is parading in front of the Morinville Legion, on top of all the old gentlemen and everybody else who's formed up. And the presentation, let alone the care to what he put into that ceremony, was absolutely embarrassing, to say the least. So after smoking a couple joints and actually enjoying the kids playing in the background when they're supposed to be quiet, I absolutely love that part of Remembrance Day, when the kids can actually be there and you can hear the parents just like trying to settle them out, and you're
Right.
he's giggling and enjoying it. And then I went over to a really close friend of mine, and he had a couple of other military guys over in his garage, and we hung out, and our wives got together and we spilled some drinks, and then went home. And I checked on a couple guys who didn't make it out to any ceremonies. Kind of went and did a couple rounds that way, and then being a Thursday night, I went out to the Water Warriors wagon gang, and we fed and clothed the unhoused, and I'm in the search right now to find a couple of missing veterans that are out there on the street. So,
well, fuck you. It sounds like you had a full day, bro. I mean, and I get it. It's funny you mentioned checking in on guys that did not go out. I touched on this a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, about why guys like us, a lot of guys like us, don't go to Remembrance Day ceremonies, because it's something we live every day of the week. So,
yeah.
And to be honest, this year was the first time I've been out, I want to say a few years.
Wow.
No, that's not true. A couple years anyway. And if I was out, it was a brief time. So Morgan, what'd you do, man?
I mean, obviously, I'm the currently on November 11th. It was the first time in about 2 years now. The military, we started kind of parading again. So the 1st Battalion, in all of its glory, decided to parade the entire battalion in front of our front of the 1st Battalion lines, our families, and Charlie Company, and I was the company sergeant major. We did about a 20 ceremony, which it was nice. It was nice, and from there we went back, and the guys wanted to sit around and kind of have a few beers with each other, but instead they locked the building and told everybody to get the fuck. And then got a lot of guys went to Legions. For me, I went home and I linked up with a few friends after at the Six Pack Saloon, there in Saskatchewan, and we just kind of hung out. So my day was pretty simple.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I forgot. I did go to Six Pack because you and me were fucking there drinking. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Kind of day.
Just throw it out there.
It's different now. It's different than it used to be. I can't put a finger on why, but I don't like crowds. Don't want the attention. Don't want the memories all the time. So it is what it is.
It is.
All our text groups doing illegal drug booze.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up, Chris. There were veterans that turned away at Legions, and guys are showing up in youth medals, and they're like, "Sorry, you're not welcome." I'm just gonna throw it out.
St. Albert Legion didn't check anybody. St. Albert Legion didn't check anybody. And we were walking in. They went all fucking current serving guys. And I'm not turning this into that fucking conversation. However, you go through no QR codes, no nothing. Boom. So St. Albert didn't do that, but that is what it is.
Well, good for St. Albert.
Yep, and that's what happened. Now, one thing I did learn, this is after the fact. So after the week after Remembrance Day, I went to hunting camp, had a fucking great time. And I was sitting there midweek. So this is after Remembrance Day. And my buddy Marcel Schur, who's a former serving member, he looks up at me. We're drinking and fucking partying and everything, celebrating the one deer we got. He goes, "Did you know that 8 April was Aboriginal Veterans Day?" I went, "No, never fucking heard of it. Never heard of it." Now, his wife, Tanya, who's a gem, I know her I've known her for 35 fucking years, all of that whole family. She's Native, and she didn't fucking know.
Oh wow.
She found out. So I'm gonna bring an image up here. Fucking give me a 0.5.
Yeah.
I think it's this one. There it is. This is too small to read, but it captures the whole thing. If you guys, if for all you people out there Googling this, 8 November is Aboriginal Veterans Day. Now, the redneck and you, what the fuck do we need a separate Veterans Day? Well, I'm going to get into that. First of all, it's not old. It started in Manitoba. If you read through this, in Manitoba, in 1994. So it's not old, but it's not new. And fuck, man, I never heard of it. And it was an opportunity to recognize your Aboriginal Canadian Aboriginal commitment to all fucking from World War I forward. And if you look at the contributions that Native Canadians have made throughout the wars with code talkers and reconnaissance guys, and I know if your comms work good, Morgan, you're going to talk about Tommy Prince here in a bit. A lot of shit. I can tell you one story outside of not knowing that this was the day. In the 90s, we got tasked to go up to a band around Wabasca, Alberta, which is way the fuck up north. I do a lot of hunting and fishing and shit up there. I said, well, what the fuck why are we going up there? What's going on? And what they were doing was giving World War II medals. This is in the 90s, okay? The fucking 90s to these service members who hadn't received their medals. Now, you might go, well, how the fuck did that happen? Good news, I'm here to tell you. At the end of World War II, end X, meet at the wash racks, grab your box lunch, and get on the boat for the fucking 2-month trip or however long it took them to get back to Canada. From there, they get on trains, they go back to their towns, and I'm struggling with my ashtray here. Fucking bear with me. I'm not even supposed to be smoking in here. They get on these trains to go back to their towns, and then fucking good to go. Now, all the fucking white guys join legions and all that other wonderful shit. I know, here we go, right? But all our native Canadians, what do? They go back and live in the bush. I can turn this off now. So they never got their fucking medals. Right? They don't have mailing addresses. They went, served their country, they fucking did their business, came home, and then fucked off. And it took forever for our governments, our respective successive governments, to make this right. So we go up there, we did a fucking gun salute for these guys, and I didn't know what it was about. And they said, yeah, these guys are finally getting their medals. And it was fucking pretty heavy, man. It was pretty serious shit. It was very, very emotional. But I didn't know there was a separate day. And I think it's fucking awesome that there is a separate day to recognize all the shit these fucking guys did for this country. And this is the segue part, everybody. There's one of the highest decorated Canadian soldiers fucking ever, who ironically, decorations are not necessarily Canadian. Spoiler alert. I'll let Morgan speak to it because this guy's a fucking member of Morgan's regiment. And Morgan, let's talk about. I'm going to bring it up here. Let me find it. There it is. Tommy Prince, who served as and Morgan's going to give you a little more detail for everybody watching this. Served as a reconnaissance expert in the Devil's Brigade, and if you know who the Devil's Brigade is, First Special Service Force. Devil's Brigade was a joint. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Morgan. Joint U.S. Canadian SF fucking organization during World War II. Okay, in this picture, you see Mr. Prince wearing a Patricia hat, right? He was part of 1 SSF Devil's Brigade during World War II, and I know you know the cool fucking stories. So I'm going to let you talk about Tommy Prince and educate everybody on the fucking shit that guy did in his whole life, and I'll kind of cue in as required on the backside of it. So you're up, buddy.
All right. All right. Yeah, Tommy Prince. I mean, yeah, I've actually got some notes in front of me because it's quite a big story to tell. But so yeah, he was born in 19 and he passed away in 1977. So he was only 62 years old when he passed. He was one of, if not the most decorated First Nations in Canada, and I'll touch on that later. Why I'm not 100% sure, because there's another name another First Nation, so also a motherfucking badass from the First World War though.
Nice.
Yeah, so Tommy Prince. I mean, he served in the Second World War, 40 to 45, and then again in the from 50 then 53 or when he came back. So he made it to the rank of sergeant.
He did 2 tours in Korea, right? 2 tours.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he tours in Korea. That's correct. So,
Okay.
I mean, so he was born in Tova. He was one of 11 children. I mean, classic, Canadian First Nation story ever. I mean, he went to residential school until grade 8, and when he was a teenager, he actually joined Army cadets. He tried to join the Army, I want to say, in like end of 39-40, and he was actually turned down several times before he was even in a uniform. So he was actually accepted to be an engineer, believe it or not, in 1940. He wasn't a patrician of Korea. So he was an engineer. He was a young sapper in 1940. Volunteered for the 2nd Canadian Parachute Battalion. Everybody's familiar with like 1 Can Para. 2 Can Para was kind of a cloak and dagger, a secret name for what would lead into be the First Force. So yeah, he volunteered for that, and then he became a member of the Devil's Brigade, and his specialty was reconnaissance, due to his to track as well as to shoot. So 1943, he ends up in Italy. A very story about Tommy Prince actually in Italy was, so he was sent from the German lines, and he's essentially hidden himself in an old Italian farmhouse. So because he was laying during an artillery barrage, the communication wire was cut. So he was using these communication lines to essentially give like battlefield intel as well as artillery fire on the front lines. And the Germans, it was very effective. The Germans had no idea where it was coming from. The line gets, he dresses himself up like a farmer, wanders out into the field, finds where he starts kind of yelling at the Germans in, whatever language he could have been speaking Cree or whatever his native tongue was. Just Germans speak Italian or English, or nobody knew what was going on. Starts taking his fist at them until he finds the broken line, finds his shoe. This is 200 meters from the Germans. Fixes the line, goes, and then continues to do a call for fire. For that one, he actually got a military the military medal during the Second War, which is, I guess, like a Star of Military Valor, like just short of a Victoria Cross. Later on, he ends up in France. Yeah. He and there's him as a sniper. They're kind of withdrawn back to friendly lines, and he sees some French partisans in a fire, German soldiers with the Nazis. He actually flanks the Nazis, and he starts picking, him and his partner start picking Nazis like they're shooting fish in a barrel. He links up with the French resistance, and this French where's your company? And he points at his sniper partner, and he goes, "It's just a guy." And the French general or the French colonel at the top, shit, and they actually sent a counter, whatever you want to call it, to go back to the French lines. The French, and this is recorded, the French were going to put him up for the medal called the War Cross, or the Croix de Guerre, French. But the courier was actually killed in the French military. Once again, military valor, like Congressional Medal of Honor. Victoria Cross. It's a Medal of Valor. But in 1944, he's the First Special Service Force is disbanded. They send all these guys back to the regular unit. He goes back to the First Canadian Parachute Battalion, and from there, the war's over, and he kind of goes back to Canada, cleaning business, has a great time within like the Native community. He becomes a political official within the Native community to help out his his fellow Natives, and that all kinds of goes to rat shit for him. Then in the 50s, Korean starts up. He joins the army, becomes a member of the CLI, 2nd Battalion, and he's there for like all the big ones. He's there for the Battle of Cap Yong. He's there when the unit gets the Presidential Unit Citation. He's given he was given a World War, or correction, during the Second World War. Yeah, he was given a few other Medals of Valor during the Korea conflict. Now, Tommy Prince, like we were, absolute hero, absolute badass, but his story ends kind of tragically. He comes back, he doesn't integrate into society. He becomes estranged from his wife and his 5 children. He ends up selling all of his war to feed himself, and he essentially kind of died alone, almost like face down in the gutter in a veterans hospital in 1977. But depression, alcoholism, everything that you can, that's what happened to him. And I mean, this guy was a certified badass guy. You hear, he was like a Canadian Rambo. I mean, let's call him what he was. With all the mental issues, with all the mental issues.
100%. So to add to that, there's a story to add to what Morgan so eloquently put. First of all, there's a story told by one of his comrades during World War II. He brought moccasins with him, and he would put them on because they're nice and quiet. He would ninja his way into the German lines, and he would either take something or leave something behind to let them know he was there. And on occasion, he'd kill one German. That is psyops as fuck, man. That is ninja as shit. And he would do it alone. Nobody went with him. This is what he did on his own. So the 2 highest medals of, I think, 11 medals, correct me if I'm wrong, were the MM, which is the military medal. That's a British medal. He had to go to Buckingham Palace and get that presented to him by King George VI, I believe. And at the same time,
he did.
On behalf of fucking the President of the United States, who was, I don't know who the fuck it was back then, whatever, Eisenhower, don't know, some guy, got the Silver Star. Now, the Silver Star is the third highest medal you can get in the U.S. military, right? The highest is a Congressional Medal of Honor. The second highest is I don't know. And the third highest medal. So the 2 highest fucking medals Mr. Tommy Prince was awarded came from different countries. See where I'm going with this? Now, gets fucking worse. Not only did Canada fail to recognize this guy, probably because he was Aboriginal, was the Royal Canadian Legion. And I only normally shit on the Legion once a year, but we're still in November, so technically I'm in my window, and it's not the current fucking Legion's fault. Would not recognize Aboriginal Canadians and allow them to come into the Legion and have a fucking drink. So you got a war hero like Tommy Prince, who's one of the highest decorated fucking soldiers in the Canadian military at the time, cannot come back to Canada and go have a beer in the Legion like maybe your, mine, or Bryce's grandfather could. He's not allowed to do that. And then he fucking still goes back and does 2 tours in Korea and fucking, dies, becomes an alcoholic and dies on the streets in Winnipeg. A hero and a tragedy. Like, raise your fucking glass right now. Right there, that dude is a fucking hero. Legit, no bullshit. Fucking, you nailed it. Canadian fucking Rambo right there. And if you don't know who that is, for anybody listening or anybody watching this subsequently on YouTube, or when I kick it out to the other platforms, fucking Google this man's name. You want to learn about the Indigenous history in Canada and the shit they've gone through, right? And you're hearing this from a fucking what is perceived as a white Canadian redneck. That's what you're hearing it from. This motherfucker right there, Tommy Prince, is a fucking hero, and was not given, not afforded the respect, and the respect is a minimum that he should have got.
Yeah. So within like within like the PPCLI, within like some of like we've read through some of the accounts because it's fairly well documented, like things that he did. And if you were to read like some of his actions, some of his citations, they were probably worthy of a Victoria Cross. But
absolutely,
he was not awarded a Victoria Cross.
No, I wonder why that was.
Just food for thought, right? Now I'm the first person to say, I'm like, listen, like I'm the first person to say, I'm like, listen, man, like we're all agreeing under the Queen, and the whole like the Aboriginal Remembrance Day. I understand, but to some degree, I disagree, because I'm like, no, it's one day and we all served, but
yeah,
I see it both ways.
I'll tell you what, though,
I'm not going to take it.
It's one day for you and me, but when you're fucking excluded from it, bro, they did their own thing. These
are things like I'm not they Tommy Prince is an absolute badass. I'll throw another name at you that people might not be as Prince was. I mean, he was Tommy Prince, maybe because it was Second World War as opposed to First World War. But there's another.
He's not the only guy.
Yeah. No, another fairly famous one. And the reason I know this is just being a sniper and just going through like Canadian sniper history. There's another guy, Francis Pega, and he was during the First World War. He was a sniper. So born in 1891, died in 1952, and much like Tommy Prince, like he got involved with like the Native community to try to improve things. Well, so did Francis Pega.
Was he Inuit?
No. He was from Ontario. He was actually from Parry Sound area. Pega was. He was a Ojibwe. So he was a highly effective sniper. I mean, 307 killed, and he captured another 300 more. This guy, he retired as he retired as a warrant officer, like when he left after the First World War.
Yep.
He was in Ypres, both battles of the Passchendaele. He had 2 military medals from the British Army. He had the World War I, the 14-15 star, the British War Medal, a Victory Medal, Distinguished Service Medal. He had all these things, and then afterwards, he became he was the chief of the. I'm brutal with nations names, but of the First Nations band that he was the chief. And he was a tribal councillor there as well. And then when, once again, I'm not as familiar with First Nations history, but Supreme Chief for the National Indian Government. That's what it was called at the time, the National Indian Government. Yep. When he returned from the First World War, the unit that he was a part of was called the Northern Pioneer, which essentially is a reserve regiment now called the Algonquin Regiment. So once again, another guy, certified badass. I mean, what more can we say? And he passed away in 1952. But much like Tommy Prince, he came back. He had a successful life. His he wasn't quite as tragic as Tommy Prince's, but another war hero. People don't really know a lot of. So I'll just throw that one out as well, because he's also a highly decorated Canadian soldier.
That's an awesome story, because I did not know that. So I do appreciate you sharing that, man. That's fucking pretty cool shit. Really, really cool shit. Let's be honest. And these, fucking, we've all got it's very tumultuous, politically in the community. But like you said, fucking the big green machine, we all bleed the same color. We don't give a fuck in the military, and those guys, for what they did, no matter what fucking creed, color, religion, race they are, deserve that respect. I just wanted to highlight that. And lastly, to this day, if it wasn't for Canadian Rangers, I can tell you right now, I would have fucking died on AWIC, bro. Because we do a course in the Canadian military called Advanced Winter Warfare Instructor course. Part of that is to go up north. And part of that is to live in a fucking igloo that you have to build. And if you don't know who the Canadian Rangers are, they are, make sure I don't fuck this up, boys. I think they're part of the PRES, Primary Reserve. So they're an integral part of Northern Defense of Canada. They are integral part of teaching us fucking dumb white people fucking cold weather survival and basic survival skills. They're exceptionally good at what they do. And if any regular reserve unit, whatever it may be, does a SOV op tour up north, you're definitely linking up with a Ranger unit, which is made up of our Inuit population in Northern Canada. And those fucking guys keep us alive because whatever we think we know, we fucking don't know when we get up there. And I've lived that shit firsthand 2 times. So yeah, you know, I just wanted to give a shout out to a day I didn't know existed, and I feel kind of bad. It's like you should know as much as you can, but we don't always know. So that's a fucking it's a big deal. I appreciate the conversations. Bryce, you're all quiet and shit, bro.
No, no. I was, I guess, being blessed to be in the logistics branch. I got to work alongside several Aboriginal female soldiers, remarkable troops, but they're very heavily spoken and outspoken back then. So. Yeah, that monument I've seen a couple times, and it's actually gigantic in real life. Some that have stood next to it, that have taken pictures with it, it actually looks rather large. So that's unreal.
Awesome. That's fucking awesome. I mean, I got a million stories, but we could talk all fucking night. So. Now that we've covered real fucking heroes, it's time to go back to the weekly Hall of Shame and talk about the Space Shuttle door gunners.
Nice.
The closing bit, as I promised last time, was to support Stolen Valor Canada, who's going through some shit right now. They're in a fight with a guy. They may be pissed off and probably shouldn't have. I'll stay the fuck out of it. I've reached out to them to try to set something up. But they do good work calling out assholes who claim to be shit they're not. Just let me fucking find it here. So our dill hole of the week, Morgan, you'll appreciate this fucking clown. I just gotta find it.
Is he physically fit like the last guy?
Oh no, this guy's are fucking.
He's definitely a sniper. Correct?
Yes, of course he was a fucking sniper, as if he wasn't. Bradley Bell,
everybody
from Calgary, Alberta, claims he was a Canadian Army Combat Engineer Sergeant, qualified sniper, EOD, combat diver, and multiple operational deployments. And he served in the Canadian Special Operations Regiment and JTF too, because well, why wouldn't he have?
Why would you? I mean,
right? Reality, Mr. Bell has absolutely no military service. Charged in July of this year with several offenses, including unlawful use of military uniforms or certificates, possessions of a firearm while unauthorized, possession of body armor without a valid permit, blah, 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 blah. He's basically a fucking Kent. So I'm going to highlight these fuckers at the back end of every show. This is your shit pump of the week. Is shit pump hyphenated or not? Feels like it should be. There you go.
I don't think so. I think it's one word.
I was actually writing Buddy's PR one day. I looked over. I said, "Hey, I'm writing your PR. Is shit pump hyphenated or not?" There you go. There's your fucky of the fucking week. And I will do this every bit. Can't thank you guys enough for your time. We'll do this again. Wednesdays are the day. Bryce is busy Thursdays. If Wednesdays work for you, Morgan, it'll be Wednesdays.
Yeah, Wednesdays are good.
Time slot. Same time slot. Maybe we'll try to upgrade.
Yeah, I got my background sorted out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
yeah.
that shirt is stellar.
You got the
too.
background. Now we're gonna upgrade your fucking Wi-Fi and your camera, and then put it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Growing pains. We'll figure it out. No big deal.
And yeah, we'll do this again. So I'm gonna cut you guys loose, do my sign off, and then go have that hit the facilities here as I'm fucking bursting. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again, Mr. Bryce Hooper, Mr. Morgan Warren. Stay tuned. We're gonna attempt to do this again next Wednesday, which I believe is 1 December.
Perfect.
I think it is. Whatever the fuck day it is. We'll do it
Yeah.
again.
Anyway, next Wednesday.
So next Wednesday, we're on. All right, boys. Have a good one.
Okay.
We'll talk later. And Bryce, I'll
Talk
see
later.
you on Friday when we record Fire for Effect episode 3.
Right on. See you then.